Everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. No, we don't want to do a dang old normal run. Cause we'll never be normal. Okay, we're on Brains, and we've been making amazing time lately. Brains is a bit of a tough one. I remember we ruined head trauma for ourselves and then beat it on the subsequent go-arounds like 3 or 4 days ago. But what happened with our first Brains run? Because in my head, no, we might have also squandered a decent attempt at this one, but I don't recall for certain. So, I gotta think about this. We have no means of ever shooting tiers. And like, what happens when you get in that situation? An orbital is an 11 out of 10 item. What else? Oh, don't do me dirty like that. What else could we conceivably pick up that would have a good chance at like really leveling the playing field in our direction? Bead FF is on the list, surely, as an item that, like, if it all worked out right, you know, is gonna make us kill enemies twice as quickly, or at least in twice as few shots, I should say. Half as many shots is probably a less ambiguous way to phrase that. Apart from that, we just really gotta stack up a bunch of HP, I guess. There's no items on this run, I think. We're about to find out if I'm an idiot or not when we head down to the next floor, but... Is there really nothing more? It's just Stompy, bad speed, oh, also your blue baby. Combined with... You can't shoot at all? That's tough, man. That's a tough challenge. I know you're probably saying, oh, no kidding, remember, like, you failed it the first time. Yeah, but, like, this is a tough challenge. It's like Lilith, but all your little children explode. Still trying to figure out, like, I guess a much better spacebar item. Even something like the nail, albeit or Book of Revelations fits equally well. In fact, Book of Revelations is a lot better because we could use the orbital that we get from it as well. But it might seem boring, but it would also definitely get the job done, or at least have a better chance to as a result of the extra HP we'd pull away from it. But Sack Dagger would be really good. Not a spacebar item, but useful nonetheless. Apart from that, I'm kind of at a loss. Satanic Bible, you might be noticing a theme kind of running through these items, but running down a theme never would have come to me. Working on a challenge run, running down a theme. Might as well check, right? Because I figured like a Spirit Heart might be worth purchasing nonetheless. It's a troubling situation whenever I look at a run and I say to myself, Self, what's the best way of making this run work? And myself looks at the run and goes, oh, you gotta play well. That's where we find ourselves in a tricky spot. Good. Dangerous. Worked out, though. And a Dagaz rune is actually... I don't want to overstate it, because it could be worth nothing. This is an excellent dodge. But it could be worth everything. If this Dagaz rune allows us to take a deal with the devil that completely changes the way the run works. So I was just going to say, ideally, we'll just smack him down here. Actually, it all worked out anyway, because we got the Halo and a Spirit Heart along with it. We get Dark Bum. Since we're Blue Baby, I can't imagine not wanting Dark Bum here. Take one Dagaz rune. I gotta look to see if there's an item room. I really would have hoped that we would have seen one by now, but... Okay, there are no item rooms. I should just remember. I mean, I haven't done the... It wasn't that long ago that I first did the challenge, but this is actually like an okay situation, I think. We effectively have 4 Spirit Hearts, and Dark Bum grabbing up extra Red Hearts and making more is a potential win condition. We're really stuck in the sense that we still haven't... Okay, that actually helps, assuming that this still works for us. Where we're stuck is that we have no way to ever deal damage that's not related to Bob's brain, but that has now changed. The fact that we have spiders, not necessarily a super duper reliable source of dealing damage, and our damage itself does not really lend itself to high damage spiders at the present moment. Moreover, as we continue adding caveat on top of caveat here, I don't necessarily think that we can afford to build our run around spiders in the hopes of just them crushing enemies because they deal 100 damage each, but we want it nonetheless because it's a way to hurt enemies that doesn't rely on Bob's brain, which is basically like if we got any chance of winning this run, it comes down to not being forced to use Bob's brain forever. So the other way is to just get a bunch of spirit hearts via Dark Bum, but that's not really like optimal because we're still gonna take 300 years to kill any enemies we come across, but I think we're okay. At least I don't feel like we're too far off of the win here. This isn't one of those challenges where I think you just pick up one item and go, oh, we won. You know, this is one of the challenges where you kind of got to work within the confines of the constraints here. And we'll gamble on. I should go back for that, obviously. Oh, I was like, I'll just give myself a little moment up here so I can get a good line of sight. Big mistake, apparently. More money wouldn't be the worst thing in the world either, so we could buy spirit hearts. I would prefer if that weren't the only way out. You know what might be a game winner as well is Little Brim, and it's kind of like a recurring theme in and of itself here, but not quite yet, right? Yeah. Kind of a recurring theme, but Little Brim would be maybe enough to win it all by its lonesome. That was a tinted rock. I actually had no idea. Please, if you'll excuse me. I'm begging you for an orbital here. I feel like I have to check the shops. Maybe we'll get a shopkeeper we can blow up and get something good out of it. At the very least, we got a 2% extra deal with the devil chance. We got all 3 Bob's brains. It's a tough boss. I'm kind of begging you. Nice. For a little bit of luck here. Like, I want to encounter an orbital. I'm not sure how we're going to do it. Sack dagger on a deal with the devil, I guess. Still, we got Cat of Nine Tails. It's good. Is it what we need? No, but it is good. We also got another spirit heart out of it. We're still holding the Dagaz rune. And we got a very good chance to deal with the devil on this floor. A floor that, by all accounts, shouldn't really be harder than the one we just surmounted. So, I think I would not say by any stretch that the world is our oyster right now, but maybe the world is like our mollusk. The world is our clam strip. Something along those lines. If we could just get like, if every floor you got one more Bob's brain, this challenge would be a little bit more plausible. And I'm not saying that's what they should have gone for. We're kind of like just caught between a rock and a hard place though, because we don't have a ton of HP. Our damage is our best stat probably. But what does that mean when we don't do any damage anyway? Our spiders are unreliable, unfortunately, but I'm still happy to have them. Are you a wizard? Thankfully is irrelevant, so you know it's not all negatives here. Yeah, it was probably not my finest moment. And Dark Bum paid out with a spider. Look, I got enough of my own. Kind of tempting to peep this curse room. Given the conditions that we find ourselves in right now, almost seems like an appropriate course of action. I'm going to say no for now. Well, thank you. But I'm going to try to see if there's a curse room, secret room sort of setup, and it appears that there is not. And there's no secret room there either. All right. We've gotten 0 money since the last floor, which, if nothing else, is like the thing that kind of chews me up the most. Like, that's supposed to be one of the most prolific resources we have. What we asked for. I can stop complaining. Satanic Bible. Spirit hearts once every 6 rooms or less. Okay, okay. Demon hearts, actually. That was stupid. Also valuable, although I'm loath to admit it, as another alternative way to deal damage to enemies. I hope we don't have to resort to this, but if we do, it's not false to say you can always crash into enemies. Take out a whole room with a single demon heart. It's almost like a built-in once every 6 rooms Necronomicon sort of situation. In fact, it might literally be that. The only, like, the major annoyance, I shouldn't say only annoyance, the major annoyance is waiting for all of these Bob's Brains to respawn. Luck upgrade is very good. I think we should check, but I wasn't thrilled about checking. Oh, it's all slowly, like, really, 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 really slowly starting to come together. We still gotta play well, but we got 2 different means of generating HP. That in and of itself is really important. If we could just get an orbital, I'd be like over the moon, dude. Like, this is the worst. Now we actually have some alternate kind of like pseudo win conditions. For example, if I could pick up well, first off, if I could pick up a faster respawn on Bob's Brain so I could actually fight these enemies. No, if I could pick up Nun's Habit, you know, it just greatly reduces our ability to die. Because this room in and of itself is a challenge, and I just, like, resent it to the highest order. Please just make, like, some... Give me, like, 2 red hearts for beating this room. Because this is, like, you're making this game look like a worse roguelite than it is. Don't walk into that. That could have been a catastrophe. And then, of course, I've got, like, my own impatience to thank for a lot of these situations that are fraught with danger. Why not wait for all Bob's Brains to respawn? Well, that could take an extra 2 seconds. I know, that's... I am me, so I know to thine own self be true and all that. I'm just saying. It burns me. More often than I'd like to admit. Good. Well done. Okay, we still got enough to take a deal, and we still have the Gauze, which is the other important aspect there. Yeah, there's no... I maintain some of these rooms with the wrong combination of items, you just can't not take damage. Which I emphasize the double negative because I want you to feel uncomfortable listening to it as I feel uncomfortable trying to dodge these enemies right now. Okay, whoa, I should have waited, but I have 2 up anyway. So this is the right time for like world-changing deal with the devil. We got the HP sorted as best as we can reasonably assume that our HP will ever be sorted on a run like this. What do we need now? Essentially, like, almost any alternative source of dealing damage. Nice. Okay, that's 1 Spirit Heart if everything goes right there. Go for a Dark Bomb. Don't let me stop you. Get some extra damage, which I was excited about until I remembered it means nothing for us except for our spiders. And then we get Rotten Baby. And of these 2 items, I'm just going to pop the Gauze right now to simplify things. Of these 2 items, I think they're both useful. I think you got to go Rotten Baby because it's extra damage. So although I wish that I could have taken both, and if we'd played a little better, perhaps we could have, I think we should be stoked that we didn't quite get, like, the world-changing item that I wanted. But we're still moving upwards and onwards here. I gotta say as well, by the way, we're kind of taking things a little faster than I expected, given, you know, it's not the easiest challenge in the challenge handbook, and yet here we are, kind of cooking with gas. So you gotta keep shooting, unfortunately, because we need to shoot for the flies to exist. But I'm looking for cards. Cards and black cards. Like the world card, I think that's totally okay to use right now. Not so good that you'd want to save it forever. And with these pills, some of them we might know. Bombs are key. Tears down. Tears down is irrelevant. I guess there is a bonus here. Bombs are key, we might want to pop, but It's not strictly necessary immediately. And look at this. And that was a terrible way to approach it. However, we can still deal damage without having Bob's Brain. It's incredibly slow, but it does exist. Alright. On our shop. More options. Sorry, there's options. You can't go with it. You gotta shoot for something a little better in this situation. No item rooms means we don't take that. Can't take that. Bombs are key. Tarot Cloth could be tempting. But I think you really just... Even Pokemans could have been fine there, but I think you gotta go for something like next level. And we didn't get it. And that's rough. But life goes on. We'll buy up the Spirit Hearts and move onwards. Could have gone for a couple of things in there, and I really, in hindsight, I think that Pokemans might have been the endgame pickup. Pokego, whatever the item is called. I have like a cognitive virus with that item where I never respect it for being that good, but especially on a run like this where our means of dealing damage are so limited, I should have probably gone for it. But, hey, let's focus on the positive here. We just picked up an orbital. Assuming we survive this fight, we just picked up an orbital. It's looking very strongly like we will live. That was not the right way to approach the end of that fight, but that's okay. Alright, so an orbital is scary, but also completely doable. Like, I'm starting to see the seams of this run and how we're like conducting a symphony right now. Enemies with creep are a bad way to conduct a symphony. We should not approach a symphony like that. A Demon Hearts. That's a little surprising. So I actually took a look at our trinket to see if our trinket was causing that. Probably not. You know what? We're not using bombs for too much here. Might as well see if we can get super lucky. I don't have a key. Got one Spirit Heart out of that. I actually believe, like, fully in our ability to win this run now. I should probably recognize the trait in myself that tends to make it more likely for me to lose if I'm using an orbital instead of just using, you know, our Edmund gifted talents here, but truth be told, I think the orbital is like an 11 out of 10 here. I think it saves us a great deal of anguish. All these items, or trinkets rather, are pretty much garbage right now. That was fantastic, though. If you could just pick that up, please. Thank you. I do want a key. I would like to go to the shop. I don't anticipate the shop being very useful. And in fact, it could just be greed. We might never get a chance to know regardless. Temperance. Pretty bad. And I gotta be honest with you, a Curse of the Unknown makes me pretty unhappy. Okay, good, you didn't walk on the spikes that time. That's a big positive. Live bomb. Gone through one series of dead ends. Excuse me. That was a little tight in there. See, this tough situation there because we can't really take the shot. Try to get enough money to make this happen. It's probably not going to work, but we might as well shoot for it. I think I'm trying to be very delicate here because we're in this fragile state right now. I think this run could go either way. But I think we've hit the first point on this run, like the inflection point, where we have now made it more likely that we're going to win than lose, I think. And I really don't want to throw that away. But more so than I think almost any other run we've done, it depends on us not throwing. And that's a very daunting thing. The mom fight is a pretty huge milestone for that. Another key, but you know, I don't think we're really too interested in the shop. Even though I've touched on that as like a potential sort of like endgame, bastion of endgame items. I think we're ready. Especially if we can beat the odds, get a deal with the devil here. Not accidentally give away more of our HP than we should. Nice. Not worth it at all. Even though it would give us Bookworm, that means it would give us nothing. And piercing shots. Black Hole, you know, there's a case. Not good enough case, though. Alright, so we have 8 HP and permanent Polaroid invincibility. So there's actually, like, quite a lot of potential value there. Pheromones and bad gas. And this one goes all the way. It's with us till the end of the line. I don't like that. But I do like that at least it's giving us the option of going to the chest. Okay, keep Rotten Baby firing. Stay away from these enemies because now we're playing for keeps, you know. Enemies do double damage. But I don't think we're too far away from, like, an unmistakable win. I'm just trying to think of what, like, specifically would fit the bill. Because although I am a YouTuber, I'd like to back up my case with evidence instead of just relying on a willing audience to tell me that I'm always right in spite of the fact that I'm talking out of my butt. That's not a subtweet at anybody in particular. It's like a super tweet of my whole industry. And I can feel it sometimes happening in myself as well. You know, I've cultivated deliberately ridiculous opinions for humor's sake on the NLSS, but then some people are like, NL's right. Anybody who thinks spinach goes on a pizza should be killed. I'm like, okay, let's... You're supposed to be the anti-strong man. You're supposed to keep me, you're supposed to keep me honest here, not just buy into my nonsense. I don't know what I'm talking about. 99% of the time. I was in school, and then I graduated, and I came onto YouTube. My mind is a slurry, is atrophied. You think I'm sharp because I watch, listen, and, you know, imbibe sharp media. That's not the case. It's an on-the-shoulders-of-giants sort of situation. But I maintain that you can trust me on some level because I know that I'm stupid. And that separates me, again, not to annoy anybody, but it separates me to some extent from some of my peers. Not all my peers. But I guess I'm also one of those people who, I'm always wary when people agree with me. If someone disagrees with me, I'm like, yeah, I might disagree with you, and there's some conflict there, but at the same time, I know you're being honest. If you agree with me, I'm like, what's this guy trying to do? Trying to get on my good side or something. It's innately suspicious, which is also probably telling of my own personal foibles, but I digress. This floor has gone very well. I need Rotten Baby to aggro. Thank you. Those shots are not doing insignificant damage. We got all 3 Bob's brains in there. Rotten Baby, keep it up. Dude, Orbital is saving us big time here. That was bad, but we finished the fight anyway. And we beat the odds on a deal with the devil. Good trinket, please. Kane's Eye. Could be good, could be useless. The Gauze is worth using once for certain. I mean, we should, because we're going to get back to full HP anyway. But it wasn't like a 10 out of 10. I think instead of Kane's Eye... Oh, whoops. Sorry, instead of... No, we can keep Kane's Eye. Sorry, what's this? The Fool. Instead of the Fool, we're going to roll the Gauze. Okay, down to the next floor. We've only got a few more floors to go. I don't know if I would reroll my whole run here, given the choice. Seems a little scary, right? How did it not get that open, though? Ooh, huge. Okay, we can fly. It's not quite the same as a speed upgrade, but it's real nice. It's a lot of luck upgrades. So I'm going to start popping Spirit or Demon Hearts because... Why not? Okay, don't do that, though. That's very stupid. There is a why not. The why not is you might want to just save a charge so you can use it later, but... We're almost in, like, fast and loose territory, I think. And the more Demon Hearts we have stacked up, we're making maximal use of our Book of Satan, Satanic Bible here. And then on top of that, you know, these are going to be very advantageous for us if we get hit anyway. So the more of those we got in the stack, the faster they'll pop and do damage to rooms that could save us from taking more damage cumulatively. So I think there's an analytical case to be made for the way they were handling things anyway. I'm gonna leave the red hearts on the ground, because I actually feel like our demon judgments, or sorry, dark bums kind of got it sorted out already. Doesn't really need my support. Wow. A little offended. The only reason I came down here with Power Pill in the hopes of, like, crushing some of these enemies. Because obviously, like, long term, we want to keep the Gaz. But we got Power Pill again, so I'll meet you halfway then. We got a Spirit Heart out of it. We're making great time. Now, I gotta be honest with you. If you think that I would fight Hush on this run, thank you. Because that means you have a very positive opinion of me. And that's incredibly silly in this situation. Maybe long term that's a good thing, but like, dude, there's no way. No way on planet Earth I would fight Hush on this run. You gotta be off your gourd. This run is getting put into the banks as soon as it's done. Any bank. I'm talking Fannie Mae. I'm talking Agent Cody. I'm talking G-Unit member Lloyd, you know? Whatever bank you can find, it will store the result of this run if it's a W. Really beating the odds on these deals. You're gonna think that I'm stupid, but I'm actually not as stupid as you think I am, but possibly a genius. If you take 9 lives as a forced blue baby, you go down to 1 red heart. I wish it were not true. Yet sadly, here we are. And I promise you, the thought crossed my mind. Because in normal circumstances, that would have given us 1 red heart and preserved all of our spirit hearts. But this is not a normal circumstance, and we would have been very, very sad after we saw the results of that encounter. So I'm not suggesting I'm like some kind of mad genius for our play there, just that we made the right decision despite it probably looking a little off. Okay, that's good. Stay strong. You got lots of HP here. No speed. That's very slowly crushing me here, but okay, that's not the right way to handle that. The virus is doing work. Enemies get poisoned. They have a chance to give you spirit hearts. It helps out. If you want to give me HP, that's perfect because the HP manifests as spirit hearts anyway. By the way, like, dude, we're at 4 luck. If/when we make it to the chest, I got high hopes. Health up. Wonderful. Infested. Nothing wrong with it. I'm going to pop the Gauze. That's a little bit of a risk, but I'm Drowsy is really good against the late game bosses. So I try to use it whenever I can, but it's rare that I get like an I'm Drowsy pill early and then get another one later. So I think at this point we can go Lucky Toe for another 1 luck. The idea being that we'll probably get a disproportionate amount of luck, of chests as a result of that 1 luck upgrade. So I'm feeling very, very positive right now. Land these, and then pay attention. Probably should not have done that, even though it worked out for us. It's like a very mature approach to the situation, is that, sure, it worked out for us, but it was probably a little silly. Now just land the brain here. Keep firing in bombs. These shots are a little tougher to dodge up close and personal. So, just try to land the brains. This is gonna hurt. Yeah, we're no way out of that one. With 0.9 speed anyway. So you're done, and we are actually completely stacked on HP, so we'll head down to the next floor. Oh, I think we're trucking, dude. We've made a great amount of progress on these recent ones. Midas Touch is a potentially beautiful way to deal damage here, and a speed upgrade is so good. So here's what I'm thinking, is you just crush enemies, get permanent Polaroid invincibility. You get a chance as a result of the virus to, you know, just style on them. And the more money you have, the more damage you do with Midas Touch anyway. So maybe like every other room we kind of try a Midas Touch sort of setup here. Like this room, we got Bob's Brains right off the bat. And of course, anytime we get hit, we're going to pop it anyway. I think this is just, we have like the siren song of impatience right now. Try not to fall victim to that. Play it right. You might get hit. Some of these rooms are tough, dude. It's the end game. I'm hopeful we'll get some more items in the process as well, but I don't think we need to be as clever as I'm trying to be, I guess is what I'm trying to say right now. So just handle normal rooms, handle them normally. This room is not normal. This room is annoying. I feel pretty lucky we managed to get out of that. But this room is normal. Don't forget you got 22 bombs. We got lots of alternative sources of dealing damage. Plus, these enemies, they stand close together, you know. When they go out, it's a dinner for two. So one bomb should be enough. They'll just split it down the middle. Save money, put it towards the honeymoon. That wasn't a menacing implication. I'm suggesting they're in love, you bigot. Onsus does nothing. Not without the guys, at least. Because we have Curse of the Lost. Stop. Oh, that was not smart. It's okay. You're still doing well. Little Gish to slow enemies. It's like a little portable I'm drowsy pill. And then just stay as far away from like literally everything on the map as you can. Technology. I think that's only going to punish us. We're still not going to be able to shoot, and it's going to lower our damage. So I think we don't want to acquiesce it. That is not my bomb. And our HP is doing fine. Okay. We are actually set. A second virus probably won't trigger spun. Yeah, in fact, it didn't do anything, unfortunately. But I'm starting to believe in the power of the novel strat here. I'm also starting to believe that I'm going through puberty again based on the fact that my voice just cracked for the first time in like 15 years, but I ran the math there. I think it's correct. Come on, give me those demon hearts. There we go. Big Chubby is actually really good from a damage standpoint. Actually, no, I always get it confused with Lil Monstro. Lil Monstro is like a 10 out of 10. I'll never insult that. Oh, we are actually 1,000,000% set. So just be smart, because I don't want to do this whole challenge again, because it's like really, really tough. We got lucky on this one. But land your Bob's brains in there, and then just go to town. And then get out. You know, why give him free damage that he doesn't deserve? Then land your Bob's brains. And then get in there. And he's done. Okay. Always a tricky challenge, but we are off to the races, dude. We've knocked out a lot of tough ones. Stud Finder, another trinket I rarely use, but I'm happy to have it. Either way, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.